to the business section, in which we are dedicated to know the function, the problems of the different administrative agencies, companies of Colombia. Today we will explore the Colombian Aerocivil. To learn more about the Aerocivil and its current situation, we have Catalina. Welcome.
Thank you, Luisa. Well, our civil portfolio includes mandatory and optional commercial services that respond to the passenger model, where commercial exploitation areas for retail, food, publicity, and propaganda are included. But from 15 not concession at airports, only 16 include these services. This is a picture of Tumaco's airport map that shows 10 spaces for commercial shops and within areas for publicity and propaganda, which helps to have an idea on what the small airports look like. About distribution, taking a statistical sample of 10 cities, the average flights per day are 4 and the average travelers per year are 200,000. Now, analyzing other countries like Mexico, Peru, and Chile, aeronautic transportation is well used in small cities and regions in comparison to Colombia, where the knowledge of airports is low. In that way, the passenger flow in those countries is higher, making profitable to have from 30 to 300 shops depending on the region. Back to the study.
It has a short analysis of the current situation of the Aerocivil.
Thank you very much, and yes, here we will analyze Aerocivil's strong and weak points as well as threats and opportunities that they may face. So strengths, first of all, they have a talented team of employees with know-how and experience. They finished all their goals for 2021 and they're in the process of generating resources from reusable waste. Weaknesses include that their online services is completely lacking, the frequent changes in the company direction stop progress from developing, and unnecessary formalities make several processes longer. Opportunities include good relations with other companies in the industry that could help renewing their image, and they're also searching for new technologies to help with their online problems. Threats from the outside include uncertainty and budget cuts, demographic positions that make airports very difficult to locate, and competition also takes skillful employees to work in better jobs and search for better futures. Thank you very much, and back to the studio.
Isabella will give a market analysis of the Aerocivil.
According to the analysis of the macro and micro environment of the Colombian airline, highlighting the marketing aspects, the public and the competitive ones of the company can be highlighted too. On the one hand, the competitors that represent all the stores and external advertising that can attract more attention for customers than those of the airports, and in the case of the public, it highlights the general public. Users who use the airports for different reasons, who develop their own criteria and opinions based on service, punctuality of flights, among other things. This summarized part of this great analysis indicates that even though many Colombians and migrants have access to the airports, competition and service are part of the reasons why the flow of people is not what it could be.
Also, we talked to different people and they told us what are their necessities and what they expect to find in an airport. They told us cleaner free toilets, Wi-Fi, restaurants or shops when they can buy food or souvenirs, a space to rest and wait for the plane, good customer service. However, we have to take into account that exist substitutes for this, and it could be someone outside selling food or airport products or souvenirs, person with posters promoting hotels or tourist places. Finally, we have Rosa, who will tell about the problems she found when she visited the different airports of the Aerocivil.
Thank you, Cara. We have information that the Aerocivil is facing some very hard challenges, as of not only their commercial spaces, but their publicity spaces are having some very serious leasing problems. Not many brands seem interested in the spaces. As of right now, there isn't that much affluence of people, which remains in the airport having low recognition to the brands and to the public. For these reasons, there hasn't been a very strong interest in the HR area, as their personnel is well underqualified and bringing bad quality service. This only leaves us with a couple of questions. How can the airports with no concessions increase the leasing of their commercial and publicity spaces and market themselves in order to be more recognized by the clients? And how can they improve their offers and positions to hire more qualified personnel to manage the constantly changing processes and seem more trustworthy for the client?
But we meet some guys who have a proposal for the Aerocivil. We should be listening. Okay, go ahead, guys.
Good morning, everybody.
Did you know that only 32% of non-concessioned airports offer service of commerce, publicity, and propaganda? Aligned with one of the Aerocivil's objectives, to promote and implement market and marketing strategies that promote the development, growth, and strengthening of air and airport sector services. We have analyzed a context where the airports of small cities are often ignored and unknown by citizens due to the lack of commercial flights, offerings, and a commercial ambience.
For that reason, we have developed a two-step plan overall to assure a major flow of passengers to make profitable and attractive the leasing of the space for companies of publicity and retail. Our market would be a general public that use airport for general reasons, and our target market are divided into. The first one is business of retail interested in leasing stores and business interest to put a leasing publicity space. And the second one is people interested in moving around the apartments.
Step 1. Attract passengers. Considering what Alberto Perez, manager of Aguas Claras Airport, Araucaña, mentioned in a in San George interview, not many citizens know the option of taking an airplane instead of a bus to interdepartmental destinies. Also, they cannot control the number of commercial flights offered by airlines. Therefore, it becomes a loop where airlines don't want to offer more flights because there are no passengers. And there are no passengers because the airlines don't offer flights. The result, a not profitable space to put a commerce business or publicity on. But considering that the Aerocivil cannot control what private companies offer, what can be done is to get near the consumers and potential leasing brands to promote the use of local airports to use corporative strategies.
The first one is to promotional campaigns around each city to inform people about the airport options using radio flyers, billboards, and social media. The second one is to develop an alliance with land transport companies to certain destinations that can relate to flights and buses to decrease travel time. The third one is to manage the principal more flexible option of charter flights to motivate the passengers flow in the actual conditions that the airport has by assuring the complete use of live aircraft through previous reservation. And finally, to develop a marketing analysis to understand the common destination the passengers look for. Once we increase awareness of the airport's businesses, we'll have more security and confidence to list the place they are because people will see them and list commercial spaces considering people will buy their products, and that gives us the green light to move to the step 2.
And step 2, attract companies for leasing. We understand that a company, the interest of putting up a store or buying a space for advertising is to know if that will be profitable and a promising investment. For that reason, the following strategies were considered. Discount on the first 3 months of leasing the stores along with the advertisements to make more accessible and easier to open another store in different airports if you have one in another airport already. And additional to the previous strategies, it is necessary to improve the communication channels to get to the final point. Capture value from customers in return to create a profitable relationship between passengers and businesses. Welcome to your new future.